Hello, and welcome to Appleton Engaged. I'm your host, Timber Smith, DEI coordinator for the city of Appleton. And Appleton Engaged is a podcast that explores the many people, organizations, and resources that make our community a great place to live, work, and play. So whether you're a longtime resident or just getting to know Appleton, join us as we learn more about our community together. And as every week, we have amazing guests. I'm really excited actually about this resource this week. So without further ado, this week's guest is Sandy Drexler, CEO and Executive Director of Tri-County Dental, and Lisa Hintz, the Community Outreach Director for Tri-County Dental. Sandy and Lisa, how are we doing today?
Doing great. Thanks for having us.
Excited to be here, Timber.
I'm excited to have you both. And I'm even more excited that our community is going to get to learn about this resource because I think this resource is so important for our community members because, you know, if your dental health ain't right, ain't nothing right.
You got it.
I kind of truly believe that. So our first question is, can you please tell us about yourself and your association with Appleton and the Fox Cities region? And Sandy, can we start with you?
You bet. I have lived in Appleton my whole life. I'm proud to be born here, to have raised my daughter here, and to live here. I've worked for a lot of nonprofits. I've taught group exercise classes at the Appleton Y for 40 years, which kind of takes my breath away.
Oh, wow.
I know. And I've worked at United Way Fox Cities, Lawrence University, the YMCA, and now Tri-County Dental. So I've gotten a really good look at our community, its fabulous strengths, and the opportunities for growth. I've been at Tri-County as CEO and Executive Director for a little over a year and a half, and it is amazing the work that happens there.
Lisa?
I am a lifelong Neenah resident, born and raised, so also been appreciative of having the Fox Valley as my home. And I have raised my two kids here, and so my career prior, I've only been at Tri-County Dental for just under a year, and prior to that, I spent more than 30 years working in the credit union industry locally. So I went from a not-for-profit type of industry to a nonprofit industry. And I just love the idea of helping people.
All right. That's amazing. Now we can really start talking about the cool part, which is the resource. Can you please share with us about Tri-County Dental?
Well, I guess I'll start it. This is Sandy. And what's kind of fun is that I have 3 granddaughters, and they love unicorns. And I describe Tri-County Dental as a rainbow unicorn, which might seem weird, but I think the fact that little girls fully believe that rainbow unicorns exist. And when I start to talk about the work that Tri-County Dental does, people don't believe that we exist because we were founded by dentists, and we have about 90 dentists who volunteer for us each year. And them coming in and volunteering makes us possible. When I talk to other dental clinics and they say, we want to become you, I say, you know, a brown horse can't become a rainbow unicorn. You have to have been started with this deep spirit of volunteerism, because if they get volunteers, they might get 3 or 4 in a year. We get 90. So we have 10 shifts every single week. A different person is in the morning and afternoon. And we take care of people in the same way that they would in their own dental clinic. We give great care to people who wouldn't otherwise get these services.
Can we go a little bit into the history?
Sure.
Like, how did this come to be? Because that's a pretty cool resource.
Yes, there are 2 things that happened. We did something as a community called the Life Study in 2001 that stood for Leading Indicators for Excellence. And at the same time, for a while, dentistry has not been reimbursed at a good rate with Medicaid and Medicare. And the local dentist wanted to care for people but said, we lose money if we do so. They started talking to one another and saying, if we banned our resources, we might be able to form something that would then take care of our population. At the same time, this research was showing dental care is a big need. So we had 4 founders who came together to really drive the opening of the clinic, and the community came together and supported it. So we have been taking care of people for about 20 years with these volunteers, and it is amazing and a great testimony to the fact that all 4 of them are still involved with our clinic.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
20 years in, and they're all still very, very loyal to the mission and the cause of the clinic.
How do you engage the public, and how do people find you? When I ask that question, I have an answer in mind already. It's on 4 wheels. But, we'd like to hear it from you.
Well, one thing I would say is it really drives us crazy if people say, "You're such a well-kept secret." We do not want to be a secret. I think the way that people find us is a lot of times word of mouth, because we serve people who otherwise might not have the opportunity to get dental care, and a lot of times they talk to each other. We do advertise. We work collaboratively with a lot of different agencies, and so much of our work is focused around children. At the time that we were founded, we were open more broadly and learned really quickly that we couldn't meet the need. So we said, how do we start to really address the issue at the root cause? We said, let's take care of kids. So about 70% of the people that we see are children. We are very blessed, too, because we have a mobile clinic that goes out to schools. So we go to 6 different school districts, soon to be 7.
6?
Yeah, and more than 40 schools.
Wow.
So we are out at the schools. The great thing about that is that even though we joke about people getting to the clinic on 4 wheels, a lot of times transportation is a big barrier for people. So we take that transportation barrier away by taking the mobile clinic and its care facility to the children at their school. One of the people who works with Appleton Area School District started as a principal in Oshkosh when we started that program and said, "I love this program because I saw the positive impact it made on our kids. They miss much less school, and how in the world can you concentrate and learn if your tooth hurts?" So she said it's a godsend to us to be able to have the kids get care in that way.
And I would say the Robert Glass Focus on the Children program, which is how we've named that reach out. It's incredible, the number of kids that we serve, but the collaboration we have with the school districts and the school admin team. As Sandy mentioned, that person, there is such a belief in the positive benefit and impact that is brought to the kids if they are relieved of dental pain, that they go above and beyond to make sure that the families are enrolled in the program. Because little minutia, but one of the greatest challenges we have is you have to fill out a registration packet with all the information, with a consent form, with a medical history, and all of that. And it can be challenging at the beginning of the school year with all the paperwork that's being asked for parents to complete. So when you ask how people find us, a lot of times it's the schools that are reaching out to the families and asking them if they received the registration packet and have they completed the registration packet. And we coordinate with them if there's missing information on a form, and we say we can't see this child until the form is completed, and they circle back and get the parents to do that. So that collaboration piece is enormous.
Who are these people who volunteer their time to serve in this way?
They are, I used the word amazing before, I would say it again, they are amazing people who care. Our volunteer dentists do 2 different things, really. They do a lot of hands-on care for us. One of our other really interesting and unique features is that we have Marquette University School of Dentistry come up, and they provide care 30 weeks of the year. So we need to have what we call in the world preceptors. So our volunteers come in and they work with the students. They oversee all the work that they do, so our patients still get this great care. And they also oftentimes provide hands-on care. They would say range from people who have graduated from dental school maybe a couple of years ago to people who are fully seasoned and who have been practicing dentistry for probably 30, 40, 50 years or more. The cool thing about dentistry that I've learned, because when people start talking about a lot of stuff going on in their mouth, they say, "I am not a dentist." Don't expect that I'm going to give you any feedback or answers on that.
Right.
But dentistry is a field that the longer you're in it, the better you can get. So it's great that we have a lot of people who are retired. Probably about 50% of our dentists are retired. And the other 50% are people who are really committed, because that means that on their days off, they come in and they do their job, but in our clinic.
That's fantastic. What are the times and days that you serve during the year? Is Tri-County Dental open like all the time, or is there a season to it? And what's that time of day look like?
Obviously, the school year is a very busy time for the mobile clinic to get out and about. And then during the summer months, we are open Monday through Thursday, regular full days, but Fridays we do close at noon. And that's driven mostly because we weren't seeing traffic Friday afternoons. So it was tough asking a dentist to volunteer for a Friday afternoon shift and not have patients for them to see. So we are open Monday through Friday from 8 till 4 for the majority of the year, other than the summer when we have Friday afternoons that we close at noon.
And our hours a lot of times are really determined by the fact that our dentists are volunteers. So when we start to look at hours outside of 8 to 4, it's hard to get people to want to commit to that. So 8 to 4 works for us, and we have 2 opportunities during the day for people to walk in if they are in pain. They can come at 7:45 a.m. or at 12:45 p.m. if they have dental pain that needs to be seen immediately. And we are really happy to be able to give that service to our community, because a lot of times people in pain don't know where to go. They can always come see us, be evaluated, and sometimes we can take care of it right then. Sometimes we can schedule.
I get that, because I've had that kind of pain, and you don't even remember what your name is.
So Lisa has a little story around that.
So when there was a conversation occurring amongst a group of people about what was the most painful experience you ever had in your life, and my husband looked at me and said, well, I don't know, but I presume it would be childbirth. I have 2 boys, as I mentioned. And I said, no, it was the toothache that, like, exactly what you were saying, for that there was no relief. I said, at least while I was in labor, it ebbed and flowed. And there were moments of relief. When your tooth is in a bad state, it's constant.
Right.
And it's all consuming.
And it's like pulsating.
Yes.
At least mine was.
Yes.
Right.
So I know that will raise some eyebrows from people who probably had more challenging childbirths than I did. But for me, that one occurrence, I was on the phone with my dentist, and fortunately I had the ability to do that, to reach out to my dentist and say, something's going on. I need this taken care of. And it did get taken care of. So
I want to ask, to help our listeners understand, who do these clients look like? What does the client look like? And I'm asking this to help encourage others to understand it doesn't fit in a box.
One of the things that we worked really hard on with our clinic is to make everybody feel welcome and everybody to feel as though they belong. So we have a bunch of pictures up on the wall, and as you walk in, you're going to see people who are Black, you're going to see people who are white, you're going to see people who are Native American, you're going to see people who are Hmong, you are going to see every single color, every single background, every single age when you come to Tri-County. I think the really cool thing about us is that our staff looks like the people we serve. So we have a really diverse staff who are caring, and I always say they're great, because how would you feel about having 10 bosses in a week? They oftentimes have 10 different bosses in a week. So the way one person wants it in the morning is going to be different from what the next guy wants in the afternoon, and different from the woman the next morning, and they make everything keep working.
That's good training.
It is good training.
And they're also so appreciative of all of those different bosses. So they accommodate and they're appreciative at the same time. And I think, to echo Sandy's earlier comment of the diversity of both the staff and the patients coming in and making it feel welcome, I think being judgment-free is really helpful. So I think that's a surprise sometimes to people about the sense of caring they feel when they come to Tri-County.
I can believe that. Just my opportunity, and Appleton Engaged listeners, I had an opportunity to go out and tour and actually see it in action, and it felt warm. It felt good, and I could feel that, and I could feel the caring. So there was something to it. Like it was good. Can you please share a narrative that'll help our listeners understand the importance of Tri-County Dental.
One of my very favorite stories, I have two that I might tell. My favorite is June. And June is this adorable little 7-year-old girl. And we have a picture of her with little ponytails and this huge smile on her face. And then as you learned about her story, she came to us. She needed 5 fillings and 2 extractions. And I said, you come to my mouth and you try to do 5 fillings and 2 extractions, and I'm not smiling by the time I get done. So I think it's really amazing that we had a 1-year-old in a couple weeks ago who had a lot of swelling and chipping, and we ended up having to refer to the hospital to have that 1-year-old taken care of. We were seeing one of our veterans as he was, I think, 93. So when you come in and you say, again, who's our patient? They might be 3 years old. They might be 93. And we were going to care for all of them equally and evenly and as best we can. I was out the other day at Veterans Village, had an opportunity to present to them. And one of the veterans there said that he had been visiting us. So his message to everybody was brush your teeth when you're young. I wish I had, because he was able to come in and he said, you took out my top teeth a couple months ago and you just took out my bottom teeth a couple weeks ago. We have a great program for low-income veterans where we provide the care that they need in partnership with the Fox Valley Veterans Council. And they, we loved being able to take care of our veterans. So a lot of times it is providing cleanings to keep them healthy. If they need the extractions, we're happy to do that. One more story that I'll tell is about Daniela. And we loved taking care of Daniela from the time that she was about in kindergarten to now. She's still in college, and she has gone through a lot of our programs. So we did all the cleanings and all the work that she needed as she was younger. And then we took advantage of the fact that we had a very generous donor who created an orthodontic program for us. So Daniela now has this beautiful, healthy, straight smile thanks to our orthodontic program. And she has maintained her care, and she has a self-confidence that she needs to look at people, give a big smile. And the beautiful thing is that she now wants to go back and be an educator. She wants to teach math. And you will never know, of course, but you do wonder, would she have wanted to do those things? Would she have had that confidence had she not had this beautiful smile that she could give to people?
You can never underestimate the power of the smile, whether you're giving one or the one you're giving. When people are looking at it, how you feel self-consciously, and the ability to be able to give one and feel comfortable with it, like there's power in that.
There it is.
Is there any upcoming events or engagement opportunities?
We don't have anything. We just celebrated our 20-year anniversary, so we had that event, but we don't have anything upcoming. We don't typically do fundraising events, but we always welcome any funds people are willing to share with us.
All right. Well, that transitions well into our next question, which is there anything the community can do to be helpful?
Yes, I think one really big ask that's pretty easy is for people who have a dentist that they see on a regular basis is to inquire next time they go in and ask their dentist if they're familiar with Tri-County Dental or if they would consider volunteering sometime. That would be huge because, as Sandy mentioned, we have a diverse group of dentists who volunteer, but we need to continue to make sure if we're going to offer these services down the road as for years to come, we need to keep bringing in newer volunteers to help us provide the care. So asking your current dentists if they're already volunteering at Tri-County Dental or if they would consider, that would be fabulous. And then, of course, the donations. It takes, I think, Sandy, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was about $1,500 was our estimate for the cost of getting the mobile clinic out to a school every day. So it costs money. We need gas. We need to have the storage facilities. We need the supplies. We need the staff on the bus. So asking the community to help provide that care for the kids in our community with cash donations is huge.
The one statistic that really took my breath away as the person who looks at budgets and things was every day we spend $200 on gloves.
What?
I know. Gloves.
That just gave me pause.
Yes, I did too. I went, really? And the thing is, we want to keep our staff safe. We want to keep our patients safe. So gloves are expensive. You use a different set of gloves on every single person, and we need to maintain really high standards, so we do it happily. But dentistry is expensive, and that's one of the reasons we focus a lot of care on prevention, because it's way easier to be brushing your teeth, to be flossing and getting all your tooth surfaces now than having us try to take care of you later.
And it is really hard when just this morning I heard a story from one of our dental assistants about a 7-year-old who already has had 10 teeth removed.
Oh.
At the age of 7, 10 teeth removed.
And you don't have that many teeth at that point. I think it's somewhere between 15 and 20 at the most. So,
So if you have any listeners who have people who are who are parents of very young children, don't give the sippy cups to them in their crib. Don't give the bottle to them at bedtime. Don't let them sit there with their teeth covered in whatever it is they're drinking.
That makes sense.
yeah, when my grandkids come in, one of the favorite things that they do is we have up on our walls little baggies with how much sugar is in different things that you eat or drink. And they always walk over and go, wow, look at this, Grammy. And then I say, how much sugar is in water? And we all go, 0. So drink lots of water.
There you go. Good advice. That can't be knocked. Who can people contact to set up appointments, or how do you go about contacting Tri-County Dental?
The easiest thing is to call us. So 920-882-5500 is our phone number. And that's probably the easiest way for scheduling appointments. Or honestly, if you are, as Sandy mentioned, somebody in pain that needs to be seen, you come into the clinic and you do the walk-in care at 7:45 or 12:45.
Our friends at the emergency departments would also love for us to put in a little plug. If you are in pain, come to us, and come to us before it gets really bad. Because if you go to the emergency department, they really can't do much for you there other than give antibiotics or try to reduce your swelling. So, yeah, we take the walk-ins because we want to be able to provide that service to people.
And there's a website too, right?
There is. TriCountyDental.org.
Okay. And that's where you learn more information. Is there anything else that you do while you're there? Can you start signing up or anything?
We have the paperwork linked on the website, but it's not fillable online.
Okay,
So,
but you can print it and prep
and
it.
it shows what the qualification requirements are.
Okay. And that's pretty important. Ooh, maybe we should have asked that. We've got time.
Okay, I say the people that we serve are people who do not have dental insurance. So if you are low income, don't have dental insurance, and are a child, absolutely you're in. We're a little bit, again, we had to make tough choices, so it's harder if you're an adult. We'll see you if you are in pain. And we love to take care of our veterans, and we do so very gratefully.
Okay.
Again, low-income veterans who don't otherwise have dental insurance.
And for the school age, it's easier for families to correlate the qualifications by saying, okay, I don't have private dental insurance and my kids qualify for free and reduced lunch. That typically would qualify them to be a part of the Robert Glass Focus on the Children program. So it's a little easier to understand that way. But even just going back to the dental emergency, I just was astounded to looking at some of the reports from last year that more than 180 students were seen at the clinic with a dental emergency in 2022.
That's a bigger number than one might think.
Mm-hmm.
On about 1,200 people overall, so most of those were adults who were in pain. And we're really proud of our ability to get people back to work or back to whatever they want to do in their lives.
Was there anything that we didn't ask here that you would like to share?
I did want to do a shout out to a number of different organizations.
Oh.
The first shout out I think we need to make is our volunteer dentists, because we could not make it work without them. They make us possible. So thank you, any dentists who are listening. Keep coming. A shout out to the school districts, because we have great collaborative relationships with the 6 or 7 now different school districts that we partner with. Marquette University School of Dentistry sends students up here 30 weeks of the year. That's awesome. Fox Valley Technical College sends their dental assistant and dental hygiene students over, as does Northeast Wisconsin Technical College. So they really make our care possible.
Absolutely. And then, of course, some of the volunteers who help out, and in one that's near and dear to my heart because I have to schedule it, is we have volunteer drivers for the mobile clinic. So again, during the school year, most school days, we have the bus on the road and we have that mobile clinic going out. And it's 40 feet long. So you have to be comfortable driving driving a large vehicle and then parking it. And so you're committing your day for driving it to the location and then at the end of the day picking it up. So shout out to those volunteers as well as some that help us out in the office. We have a retired hygienist who loves educational stuff and has offered to help out as often as she can. We have someone helping with our Medicaid charging process. So kudos to all of the volunteers who step up.
And that was so smooth because y'all jumped right into shout outs and I didn't even have to say, hey, it's shout out time. So that's fabulous. Okay. Well, at this time, we're going to start wrapping up. Appleton Engaged listeners, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for spending time with us. Thank you for giving us your minds and your ears. Thank you for taking time to learn about this super important resource, this amazing resource that we have in our region that helps to make Appleton and the surrounding Fox Cities area a better place. We are a work in progress, so please feel free to reach out to us and let us know how we can be better on this show. Also, if you would like to be a guest on Appleton Engaged, or if you would like to suggest a guest to Appleton Engaged, please feel free to email us at diversity@appleton.org. Once again, that is diversity@appleton.org. And our last ask for you is to please take some time and to subscribe to the podcast. If you're listening, please subscribe to it and leave us a review. What this does is it helps our analytics. We think we have something pretty special here, and the better the analytics, the more people find out about Appleton Engaged. Until next time, stay thoughtful, stay curious, and stay engaged.